The Immortal John Hancock here, and today I'm doing a product review on the Atari Flashback 9. This is the new upcoming model, all-inclusive Atari 2600 that hooks up to modern TV, and get this year's Atari Flashback 9 HDMI in the $50 range. That's right, 110 games. There's some new games included here. I'm going to do an unboxing and review. Let's check it out. Alright, here we go. This is the Atari Flashback 9 Original Edition. And here's the unit. It looks very similar to last year, except, boom, SD card slot. That's the mystery question mark. As of right now, I was told that you are able to upgrade this, but it's unofficial. So, tinkerers, pay attention. SD card slot. I'm sure there'll be some awesome stuff that hobbyists will be able to do with that. And here we go on the back side. Last year's model had the HDMI slot on the side of the unit. It's in the back now, finally. We'll get back to the HDMI. That's another issue. Okay, so controllers. This is the first player controller with all the extra features, the rewind, the menu. It does work with original controllers, and so I'll test those. It says right here in the manuals, and it says it'll work with original paddles. I will test that. And so here's the second player controller, and it's more of like a standard 2600 controller. Comes with a power adapter, and what you're noticing is what I noticed when I opened up the box. That's right. If you look at the components of what it's included, it includes the console, built-in games, 2 wired controllers, a micro USB power adapter, and an instruction manual. That's right, it does not come with an HDMI cable. Honestly, I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life, and I'm just still at shock that it wouldn't come with an essential hookup thing to the TV. And I know this is going to be on sale cheap at Walmart and other various places, but, you know, have the price point a little bit higher and include a cable. Like, it's just silly. Like, people are going to get this at Christmas, and it's like, you're going to have to hunt around for a cable. I'm not happy about that. Anyways, I let the company know already. Anyways, game list is on the back. This is the games that are included. I know that's really small, but I have a list here of the included additional games that are new. The new games for the Atari Flashback 9 are Amador, Asteroids Deluxe, Beam Rider, Chopper Command, Cosmic Commuter, Decathlon, Dragster, Frostbite, Gyrus, awesome, Keystone Capers, Mega Mania, Pooyan, Sequest, Star Master, I can't read my writing here, Track and Field, Tutankhamun, and I'm sure there's some others. But again, here's the list. Awesome. And let's check out the console and see how it works. Alright, here we go. So this is the Atari Flashback 9, and this is the menu screen, and I'm using a standard player controller, first player controller to navigate. And it's nice. It's a nice menu screen, responsive. I really like it. It's crisp. You can choose any of the games through alphabetical. And if you go over here, the menu screen, you can go and just choose the Atari games. I like that there's a paddle games section just for paddle games. And settings. And I'm going to mess around with this a little bit, not too much. And you can back up to SD card for save states, restore from SD card, or delete all save states. So there's additional information here at the flashback zone at Games, and it's pretty neat. So let's jump right in and look in here, and I want to try one of the newer games. And so let's check out alphabetical. So let's go down to Gyrus. Gyrus was a great 2600 game, and it's cool. It kind of talks about the story there, and you know, it has a little bit about a manual built in. It's kind of nice. Talks about how to play it. Let's play the game. All right. So here we go. Such a great game. And, you know, this is the Atari 2600 Classic. You know, and while this game may look a little dated now, it was really, really well done for the 2600. Great music. And, you know, I know my good friend John Rose, this is one of his favorite 2600. Oh, totally died. But wait, there's a Wii Rewind feature. And what's cool is you can rewind and use that feature built in to increase your score or to survive a death. And so that's really neat. And it works great. So yeah, this is kind of a cool game and definitely recommend checking it out. This is a new feature, a new game, should I say, to the Atari Flashback series. Alright, say you want to quit, you just hit the menu on the either console or the first player controller. And you have save slots. You can save the game, you can resume the game, or quit the game. And there is a scanline filter built in, so you have like the old school, you know, if you want to relive kind of that CRT look, and you can resume the game, and you got the CRT scanline filter built in. I think that's a really, really neat feature. Great to see. All right, let's go ahead and play some Breakout. And I'm playing this with an old Wiko controller. And it's playing great, but I'm using a standard controller. It's kind of strange, and it's kind of strange to play Breakout. My original paddles were not working, so I don't know what that's about. But I wanted to say that they are making new paddles, so they will be making paddles to support this, but your original paddles will not work. However, I don't know if that's a misprint on the manual, but it is working with a standard controller. It works with the standard controller that it comes with. But if you have an old school controller that you grew up with, it does work on this. It's pretty sweet that you can take an original 2600 controller and it works fine. And so it's really cool to see. And wanted to show classic Breakout. Still fun today. The Frogger made for this unit is, it looks like the arcade. It does not look like the Atari 2600 version. And it plays great. But it's definitely not the one that you grew up with on the 2600. So I don't know why that is. But nevertheless, still pretty fun to play. Want to show that it looks like a modern, like, not modern. It looks like a classic arcade game versus the 2600 version. It's really nice to see classics such as Hero included on the Atari Flashback. And, you know, it's such a classic game. I love playing these Activision original releases. It really, to me, is like, you know, the golden era of Activision. And to play these all in one spot, really cool. I really am interested to see what additional support the SD card will add to this device. It's already great. The emulation is good. It's really crisp and clean. I'm really happy to see that this is a solid product. It wouldn't be Atari Flashback without Pitfall. And Pitfall being one of the iconic games of the console. And I'm happy to announce that this version and this year's Pitfall is better. Better emulation. Last year there was some emulation issues with Pitfall. And this one is responsive. It looks great. Other interesting note is Space Invaders. Space Invaders, again, another game in which it looks more like the arcade, and it's nothing like the Atari 2600 one. So if you're looking for the classic 2600 version or the classic Space Invaders, you get this instead, and which is fine in my opinion. I'd rather play a more arcade version of Space Invaders than the original 2600, but some people that have nostalgia, they might want to be looking for the original 2600 version. Who knows what can be added with that SD card slot? It's a big question mark right now. I'm sure in the future we'll see some great things to come out of that. Here's another great game that's included on this year's Flashback. It's Pooyan. And this is kind of a kind of a known arcade game, but you wouldn't think that the 2600 actually had a version of it. But they did. And so nice to see this. So there you have it. Pretty interesting not having an HDMI cable included. That's probably my biggest gripe with this package. Other than that, it's going to be cheap. It's going to be at your local retailers. I'm sure you're going to find it at Bed Bath & Beyond, online, Walmart, etc. So their decision not to include an HDMI cable is my big complaint. But other than that, pretty decent package. And I do think that you can play a lot of the great games. And that SD card slot, I'm sure some hobbyists are going to have some fun with that. Thank you so much for continuing to tune into my humble channel as I march towards 70,000 subs. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thank you for all the support. I have a lot of product reviews going on right now. Check out some of the other ones I uploaded this day. Take care. This is the Immortal John Hancock. Have a good one.